Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to 2CTV and another update from the conflict in the Middle East. This is a little bit disgusting and vile, truly. Of all the things that we've been reporting, we've seen so many bad things. We've seen some hopeful news, we've seen depressing updates, but this one is it's just a little bit inhumane. And we got it confirmed. Even the anti-Israel United Nations have now confirmed this. And Hamas actually promoted this. What are we talking about? Oh yes, a public screening of what happened on the 7th of October last month. The invasion of Israel. Essentially, what we had is thousands of local residents in Gaza, near one of the hospitals. They got together, and the Hamas leadership used a lot of energy, electricity, and internet to broadcast and do a public screening of the attacks near one of the key hospitals. So, I'm going to show you this video first. So, obviously, it's going to be disturbing, so heads up. We can see the crowd sitting there watching on a big screen what the Hamas thugs did in Israel a month ago. And then we're going to talk about some of the issues around what we are hearing from Hamas and inside Gaza. Lack of electricity and lack of internet and food and everything else. First, let's go to Gaza. Right, so as we said, we got this footage verified. The United Nations confirmed the footage existed, that this is actually real. Hamas actually admitted not just that it was real, but where it was. Before I start, there's a comment in the live chat I need to respond to. There's Mr. Skipcon saying, surely you should be neutral, not supporting Israel. When was the last time I was neutral on anything? So I keep getting these comments, mostly from these leftists who pretend to be following the channel, and some of the crazy people, saying, oh, Maya, for once, you're not impartial. When was the last time I claimed to be impartial? Since the whole channel was built during the Brexit days, I was pro-Brexit. And everything else since then, we've been on the side of people. I'm always on the side of people. I'm not even supporting Israel as a government. I'm supporting Jewish people. I just want them to not lose their lives, like Christians, like atheists, and everybody else. So nobody's claiming to be neutral here or impartial. We all have our leanings. We like freedom and civility. Now, let's go to the nonsensical update. So, it is a little bit weird because the UN ambassador actually said this. Last night, near Al-Shifa hospital, Hamas held a screening of their attacks on Israelis for thousands of Gazans. Spotlights were glaring. Every single window was lit up. Their footage was shown on a large TV. Hundreds were filming the attacks with their smartphones, so they have battery. Hamas has plenty of fuel for whatever they choose to prioritize. If only, obviously, the NICU incubators were as important to Hamas as the propaganda screenings. They don't expect us to provide the Hamas with fuel to fire missiles at our civilians, and any demand for fuel must be directed at Hamas. Clearly, they have enough fuel. They have enough energy inside Gaza for their own propaganda. If they don't want to give it to their own civilians, it's not the responsibility of Britain, France, Germany, Israel, Iran, Iraq, or South Korea to give energy to Gaza if their own people, if their own leadership that they elected are refusing to give them food or fuel. So that's where we are right now with that issue. Now, let's go to one of the main important problems that we're currently facing. Why is it that none of this is being mentioned on the mainstream media? You know why? because it doesn't suit their narrative. Because at best, they're going to say, at best, if you meet one of the executives of Sky News, for example, or Channel 4, or wherever, right? If you get them drunk, at best, they will say, well, we don't really want to fuel this chaos. We don't want to, it's politically incorrect. Some people will get offended and they'll start rioting, right? But at worst, you know the plot. The reason they're anti-Jewish is also because they're anti-Christian. It's also because they're anti-stability. They're anti-anything that we used to call the Western values, which also, by the way, has been betrayed by Western globalists. It's not just the Islamists. It's not just the Eastern globalists who are against us. There've also been a betrayal from the so-called elite in the West. But we must support Western values, because these were the values that created what we have now. And we are literally in the middle of a war right now, whether you like it or not. In our own home, it's not a Middle Eastern problem anymore, because the enemy is here, and it's here to hurt us. Kirsty says you are consistent. Yes, now that's I'm guessing in response to that the other guy who was claiming, oh, you should be impartial. Yeah, Mr. Skipcon, who's now saying everyone is entitled to their opinion, for sure. Absolutely, everyone has their own opinion. The point of this channel, those who say, Tis, you've picked a side. That's rare for you. The whole channel was picking sides. I was a pro-Brexit channel. Then for a while, I was pro-Boris channel. Then I was pro-anti-lockdown. That's an oxymoron. Pro-anti-lockdown channel. So everybody is kind of quite clear where we are. I give the facts. I add my opinion. Then you shape your own view. That's the point. So I'm objective with my facts, but I'm open about my biases, and I don't even like any government, whether it's Rishi Sunak's government or Netanyahu's government or any government really. We have to go and support ordinary people who want to live on this planet, and if they are civilized. If they're going out there attacking other people, I don't really care for them. If you're going to go out there with your new agenda to have a one world government, yeah, I'm not really on your side. So, and for those of you who just joined late, I'm going to show you that public screening again in a second. I'm going to show you what happened in Gaza, where somehow, suddenly, Hamas leadership discovered a lot of fuel, electricity, internet connection, food, water, and they held a massive screening. But before I do that, quick update on what we talked about last night and this morning, which was about the Labour Party. You remember they had a number of resignations. We've now had over 50 resignations inside the Labour Party because Keir Starmer is refusing to completely take the Hamas side. Keir Starmer is refusing to say Israel should surrender. And we have a list of the faces and the names of the latest group that resigned last night. 10 councillors in Burnley. Let's go through their names. Top left is the leader of Burnley, Afrasib Anwar. Next to him we have Asif Raja. Then we have Sehrish Lone, I don't know. And then Ishtiq Mohammed from bottom left. Shah Hussein and Lubna Khan. And then there's more. Oh yeah, there's 3 more here. Asif Khan, Saeed Chowdhury, and Nusrat Kazmi. Yeah, you make up your own mind. Everyone's entitled to their opinions. But we all know exactly what's going on here. We all know exactly why every single one of these councillors from the Labour Party who resigned have one thing in common. What is it? Are they all wearing glasses? I wonder what it is. Maybe you can tell me in the live chat. What is it that they all have in common? Yeah, we'll talk about that. So, first, let's go back to this the clip that we have because it is a little bit disturbing, but it's important for people to see this. This is outside the hospital last night. Hospital, which is also next to the tunnels. So the Hamas base are there. They got people together, thousands of people from Gaza. These are the civilians, by the way, civilians in Gaza, happily sitting and watching and cheering the 7th of October attacks that we witnessed. Disgusting. yeah, this is what we're dealing with now. I asked you guys in the live chat what you think all the Labour councillors who resigned last night had in common. Their pictures I showed you guys. Let's go through some of the answers you guys sent us. No Smith or Jones? Guess not. Groucho Marx says, lovely English names. Pete went direct. Pete says, they all need deporting. We actually need to start having a conversation about mass deportations in this country. If the French and the Germans can have conversations about it, we should too. Let's go back to some of the answers they had. You guys had. I asked you guys, what do they all have in common? No poppies. Yeah, none of them wearing poppies. Also, I just realized my main poppy is actually on my big coat. I'm not wearing it. That's embarrassing now. But it doesn't matter. I actually got it. If I have this on the screen, that's automatically I'm wearing a poppy. That's my loophole. Every time I forget to wear my coat. What are the answers we have? Low self-esteem. Yeah, that's a good one. And no moustaches. They're just beards. Tracy says, can't put my finger on it, Maya. There's another one. Where is Mr. Fafo seat? For those who don't know, Mr. Fafo is Mr. F around and find out. On that note, we actually have an update on Mr. Fafo. Are you ready? In case you don't know, since last night, in case you missed the updates, Mr. Fafo is back. Mr. F around and find out, the Hamas crisis actor. And this time, he has returned not as a radiologist, doctor, not as a foster father, foster parent, not as a... what else did we have? He got married a couple of times, he died a couple of times, but now he's back as a journalist again.
يا إلهي يا جماعة الخير، حجم الدمار طلع حواليا، كل المكان ورايا، كل المكان دمر تدمير كامل. طلع فيش مكان واقف. يا الله، طلع المصاري، طلع كل المصاري منزعين، طلع فيه. يا الله. فيش بضلش لا حاجة.
That is top level journalism. Thank you so much, our Gaza correspondent, Mr. Fafo, for that footage. I don't know what was going on there, but the guy's all over the place. So there was a comment. Oh yeah, Red says Mr. Fafo for PM. Yes, do it. No, Mr. Fafo is going to get his own show on 2CTV. That's the idea. And we had Leah Lou saying, where is Wally? That sounded more like, where is Johnny? Now here's Johnny. I've got all my quotes mixed up. So let's go to one of the main problems that we're currently facing right now, because everything goes back to the foundation of the issues in the West. We opened our doors to chaos, and we wonder why we are having problems on our streets right now. So you guys heard what happened this morning. I'm sure you've seen the channel or some other place. The cenotaph was targeted by Just Stop Oil. They also targeted the National Gallery. About 100 of the activists were arrested because the police are under pressure. So we have a coalition of enemies, from Islamists to communists to literally CCP agents to the globalist elite and their shills from Bill Gates and all those idiots. And we've got our own deep state in civil service. And then we have the champagne socialists. You've got the liberal lefties who are betraying our British values. All these groups, not that they are united, because they also hate each other at times, but they are fighting against what we have here. And apparently, we are the bad guys for wanting to defend Britain and British values. Tommy Robinson is back. Finally. I don't understand why it took Elon Musk such a long time to reinstate Tommy Robinson's account on Twitter, or X, but he's back, officially. Tommy said, I'm grateful to Elon Musk for giving me my voice back at such an important time. I've been censored, attacked, slandered, and imprisoned for shining a light on uncomfortable truths that our government wished to hide. The public are now aware I was telling the truth. We have lots to do. And I've also basically got in touch with Tommy, because I want to get him on the channel, talk about where we are now as a country. I've also actually been in touch with today. I had a chat with Douglas, a friend of mine, Douglas Murray, who is actually not around for a couple of weeks, but he's going to be back in London, and we're going to do a special show together on this channel, talk about where we go from here as well, because it's important for people to get different perspectives. It's important for ordinary people, if the mainstream media is not going to be the voice of the people and hold the power to account, if the police are failing to protect us, if the political establishment are showing weak leadership, at best complacency, at worst complicity, we have to look after ourselves. We are in the middle of a massive battle of Britain, and no one is looking after us apart from us. So it's important for us to get all the different voices who believe in freedom, who believe in sovereignty and our own self-determination in this country, and for all pro-freedom people across the world, from the anti-Islamic occupation Iranians to the Jews and the Christians in Israel, to anyone in South Korea who's still facing a threat from North Korea, anywhere in the world, we have to have our own Avengers. Avengers assemble. And in that, for that reason, we're going to get different types of advocates. I'm going to get people like Tom Robinson to address and be the voice of a lot of people. Well, we also need the type of authors and, of course, the intellectuals like Douglas Murray to be there too. You need the crazies like Maya Tusi. You need everybody. You need the big media names like Nigel Farage. You need everybody to get together. Even if they hate each other, it doesn't matter. It's time to fight for Britannia and our freedoms. So that's what we're going to do on this channel going forward. We're going to be your voice. We're going to continue to expose the establishment. And again, those who are going out there in the name of Marxism, in the name of Islamism, and in the name of ultra nonsensical globalism, betraying our national sovereignty, going out there calling us the bad guys, it's okay. Feel free to do that. We will refuse to become the villains that you want us to be. We will not be the villain that you think we are. We will continue to fight for ordinary people, even if they are politically incorrect, even if they're not as eloquent or intellectual as you guys are in the establishment. Let's go back to this clip that we have from Gaza. This is the footage for those if you join late. Outside the hospital, Gaza, and the Hamas leadership managed to find a lot of energy, fuel, food, drinks, internet to do a public screening of the 7th of October attacks for the residents in Gaza, and they were all seemed to be happy to watch it. Yeah, that's what we had. So the briefing that we have, confirmed by the United Nations ambassador, is this. Wow, it's astonishing. Every time I read it, it's astonishing. Last night, near the Al-Shifa hospital, Hamas held a screening of the 7th of October attacks on Israelis for thousands of Gazans, civilians in Gaza. Spotlights were glaring. Every single window was lit up. The footage was shown on a large TV. Hundreds were filming the attacks with their smartphones who had enough battery and internet. Hamas has plenty of fuel for whatever they choose to prioritize. Clearly, all the essentials that they say we don't have, they could use them if they don't prioritize their own propaganda screenings. Don't expect us to provide Hamas with the fuel to fire missiles at our civilians in Israel. Any demand for fuel must be directed at Hamas. Absolutely spot on. Neighborhoods in Gaza, if you don't have fuel, if you don't have food, go to Hamas. They have tunnels, they have resources, they have bunkers, they have a lot of things. They're just not giving it to you. You elected them, you need to fight back. It's time. You cannot have humans on this planet. It's 2023. It's time to stop being victims. Stop blaming other people and other things. You need to make the best out of your situation. That the one thing you can learn from Jewish people throughout history, they refused to be eliminated, they refused to become victims, and they chose to survive. And unlike other people, you know what they did? They chose to thrive to survive. That's why they are hated. If they don't thrive to survive, they will be destroyed. But we still have many people, many cultures and tribes across this planet, different continents, who are still victims for something that happened 500 years ago, 1,000 years ago. So a lot of people are still defeatists, saying, wow, I can't really do anything. This is the end of the world as we know it. Because some white person or some banker took our land 7 million years ago, even though I wasn't even here. It's time to stop blaming things, the problems that we currently have, on other people and other situations. Fight back. Make something for yourself. Don't become the villain. Be civilized. Work hard. Tell the truth. And fight for your tribe. We have to promote this. And we can't really go out there and do nation building anymore. It's not our responsibility to do that. Stop listening to the neocons and the warmongers. Fight for your own country. And right now, we have to talk about national security here. We have to talk about mass deportations. We have to talk about shutting down the border. Enough is enough. Learn from those who've survived. The Jews are survivors. That's what they are. Kirsty says, stand up. I don't know if that's supposed to be a message or if you want me to actually stand up, because you can't see my head if I stand up. That was a terrible joke. Let's move on. Nothing happened. Unique video says, stand by common sense. Jews and Britain are common sense. United we stand, divided we fall. But the thing is, as I said, the problem is there are a number of cultures in the world right now and throughout history who are united in defeatism, and they end up choosing corruption over corruption, and they continue to be ruled by dictators. They continue to be divided in their own so-called countries that at this point they don't deserve to be countries. Look at certain places in Africa, and they're still blaming what happened 300 years ago in their land. Stop blaming other people and history for your own problems. And Iranians, for example, who are fighting back against the Islamic occupiers, but there's still a lot of Iranians, instead of fighting back, they're still nostalgic about the past, what they had 2,000 years ago. Yes, we understand. Are you going to take back control of your country or not? It's a choice. We are here in this country. We will fight for Britain. We cannot just sit here and complain. We have to fight back because establishment clearly is not on our side. Even if they want to be on our side, we are led by a bunch of donkeys. Weak and feeble donkeys. JB says, I'm willing to trade Trudeau for Trump. I'm guessing you're in Canada. Esther says, I am Indonesian and I stand with Israel. The vast majority of Muslims here is so crazy and barbaric that they block McDonald's where local people work. I mean, the idiocy that we have. This is a very interesting comment from Esther. We had it here as well. On Oxford Street, McDonald's got attacked. The crazies, whether it's the communists or the champagne socialists or the Islamists, they don't understand basic facts. Let me explain how business model works. When you have a franchise, international franchise like McDonald's, they are now divided into different type of countries. So the UK McDonald's has a different leadership to the McDonald's in Israel. If you have a problem with McDonald's in Israel, by attacking a McDonald's on Oxford Street, nothing's going to change. You're not going to have Netanyahu and the head of McDonald's in Israel saying, we just saw that attack on Oxford Street. We are now going to be supporting Hamas, ladies and gentlemen. We are surrendering. This is what we are having, the absolute idiocy. What's going on here? Ashley says Maya for Prime Minister. Maya, watch it, Maya. Don't mention the title. At this point, it's too late. Onwards, Christmas as soldiers. Oh yes, don't forget that, as Kirsty says, we mentioned this a couple of days ago, the Party of Islam has now been rejected, which is actually a good start, at least. That was the idea that they had to create a new party to split the Labour vote. Didn't go too well, did it? RG's, thank you so much for your super chat support. Highly value your work at helping the blind see. Also, please make sure to see the new Red's What is it? Sketch. I need to check this out actually. The one who did the BBC sketch. That actually reminds me. Thank you for that. That reminds me. Do you remember the Israeli TV, the Israeli media that did the comedy thing against the BBC? That's going to be the next video. I'm going to show you that. Thank you for the reminder. That reminded me. We're going to show you the latest episode from the Israeli comedy show that made fun of the BBC News. They've done a different one, as the comment that we just had. The University of Columbia. I think it's a fake University of Columbia in America. It's basically a bunch of wokey people, the LGBTQH whatever. They are supporting Hamas, and it's funny. Maya for Mayor of London. Vote, vote, vote. I'd rather die in a ditch. Thank you so much. Stop trying to force me to run for mayor. Actually, we are hearing rumors that George Galloway is potentially running. George Galloway, who is not my biggest fan, he's still blocked me on Twitter because he's a bit of a commie. The guy is going to be running, and he's going to be splitting the vote. That's the Sadiq Khan vote. So, yay. It's going to be exciting. I wonder what's going to happen to Jeremy Corbyn, because he's also considering to run as well. Thank you so much. Keep spreading the word of truth. That reminds me, quickly going back to the main issue of the day. Before we finish, I'll show you the clip again from Gaza in case you missed it. But we have a list of the Labour resignations. Yesterday when we had another 10 Labour councillors from Burnley resigning because Keir Starmer is refusing to resign. Because apparently Keir Starmer needs to listen to these idiots. And because he refused to resign, these guys have now resigned from the Labour Party. And let's go through them again. Top left is was the leader of Burnley. Well, it still is, but he's not Labour anymore. Afra Saib Anwar, Asif Raja, Serish Lono, Ishtiq Mohammed, Shah Hussein, Lubna Khan, and we also have councillors Asif Khan, Saeed Chowdhury, and Nusrat Kazmi. Yeah, that's the one. I went through it. Only 2 mistakes this time. So yeah, these are the names of the Labour councillors who have now resigned from the Labour Party. What a shame. What an absolute shame. I'm sure they were extremely talented individuals. Every single one of them could have been the future Labour leader. Yeah, I'm not even joking. That's how the Labour Party elect their leaders. Dave says George Galloway is a pro-Muzzy communist cock. Yep, I agree. Every single word is true. Why isn't Jeremy Corbyn in Gaza fighting? Because Jeremy Corbyn needs to take his orders from Iran. And Iranians, the Iranian regime, the Islamic occupiers, have clearly betrayed their friends in Hamas and Hezbollah, up to a point where, if you saw the video we did yesterday, the founder of Hezbollah had a bit of a meltdown on their YouTube channel, and on their actual official YouTube channel, and he attacked the Ayatollah of Iran, Ali Khamenei, saying that you guys have betrayed us. So I'm guessing for that same reason, Jeremy Corbyn would rather take his orders from Iran rather than the actual puppets of Iran. So we'll have to wait to see what the masters will tell him. Where there is a super chat I just missed. Where is it gone? There we go. Thank you so much. Saying Israeli comedy show did amazing video on Mr. Fafo. It is very fun. I have not seen the Mr. Fafo one. Did I see it? I don't know. But the video I'm going to show you after this one is about that university. Well, it's a fake video, obviously. It's comedy in America where the woke liberals are supporting Hamas. It's funny. Just wait for it. In about half an hour, I'm going to post it when it's ready. Susanna has a new policy. Deport Maya. Why not? I don't know where to, but I'm willing to be deported to Florida if that is an option. I like the weather, and I've got a few friends there. It's quite nice. Otherwise, Tel Aviv is nice as well. It goes with the conspiracy theories that I'm funded by IDF and Israel. I love how, on the one hand, they say the Jews are so powerful, they're running the world, right? In Israel, like Netanyahu, right? And they have control of all the mainstream media and all that. The same media that attacks them. if they have control over everything, right? Why would they have to pay Maya 2C to spread their propaganda with his channel in the middle of London, when they could just literally take over CNN, for example? I mean, the idiocy of these conspiracy theories, brilliant, isn't it? All right. Anyway, let's take a quick break. There's a lot of other comments about the fascists. Oh dear, so much going on. Anyway, I'm going to show you the clip from Gaza one more time before we go. This is Hamas hosting a massive public screening of the 7th of October invasion of Israel, and the so-called civilians in Gaza are enjoying it. Yep, takbir and all that stuff. We have another conspiracy theory. Maya is on the Jewish payroll. So wait, am I on the Jewish payroll or the Israeli payroll? It could be both, but you have to clarify. Because it could be George Soros paying me. Ooh. Yeah, George Soros would not like me. Anyway, I want to say a big thank you, by the way, to everybody who has joined our community on Locals. If you have not joined Locals, join Locals. It's part of Rumble. If you like Rumble, if you have checked out Rumble, it's pro free speech. This is where we have the membership. If you want to support the channel, if you want to keep us independent, if you don't support me on Local, then I'm gonna have to go to Israel and the Jews to get to fund me. If you want me to stay independent and not be funded by any group or individuals, go to 2ctv.locals.com. You could find the link in the description, and you get a lot of bonus content, and you could interact with me and message me directly as well. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Maya 2C, and we are the media.